Hello, I'm playing Zoo again today. This time we are playing Cascade Zoo. We are playing some new cards, of course, from March of the Machines, and we have 8 invasions here: Invasions of Tarkir and Invasions of Ixalan. This one is I already have a list of regular Zoo with Nishoba and Nakatel playing this one, and I really like it. Trying this one too here, this one deals 2 damage and then flips into the very powerful dragon. And this one searches top 5 cards for a permanent card, put it into your hand, and the rest on the library, and flips into the cool dinosaur, which can get indestructible when you cast a spell. These are all very cool four power creatures, so very with some abilities, so they are pretty cool. And the thing is with the Cascade Zoo shell that most people kind of also dislike, and have a reason because of that to build uh, all kind of different cascade shells without burn spells and playing less burn spells or some stuff like that is cascading into the lightning bolt or lightning helix or tribal flames with your Shardless Agent, Bloodbraid Elves, and a lot of people just don't really like that. I don't think it's bad, but a lot of people don't like it. Some of those lists play General Rokirex, some don't, but they are not like fully utilized for playing Rokirex. They just play some multicolored spells, like maybe 14 multicolored spells maximum. So not fully utilized on it, but still can get some, of course. Still can get some use from it. Okay, this Invasion of Ixalan is very useful because it's finding a permanent and it's looking for top 5. And if you see our deck, most of our deck except these 8 cards are permanents. Everything else is permanent. So you can fight another battle, you can find your Cascade creature, you can find Fury, you can find Leyline Binding, Scion, Territorial Kavu. I still think this Invasion of Ikoria is a little bit better because but this one can make like deck a little bit more consistent, and I think like this incidental burn that happens like all the time when you play your Shardless Agents, Bloodbraid Elves, and you cascade into Bolt and your opponent is on 20 life, and like you just kind of feel bad for dealing 3 damage to opponent while not having any board state and them being so high on life. I think having invasions on the field at that moment can be really good, and you can really it can really help you like flip them. And when you flip them, you can get a very good. You can flip them, get much better tempo to and much better board state to actually finish the game and start attacking for some serious damage. They can all these burn spells can really be enablers in this deck, which is I think very cool. In most cases, I won't mind cascading into any of those. That is it. Some standard stuff for other choices: burn spells, Kavu, cascade creatures, Fury, Binding, Scion, and that is the deck. Okay, so going on the sideboard. I forgot to say this. Ixalan can find the land, so it can help. It can help with the mana a lot. It can digs 5 mana, searches for any permanent card, which includes land, of course. Okay, so going on the sideboard, it can also help you find sideboard cards, which is very cool. Like if you're looking for Cindervines or Hidetsugu or Meddling Mage, Rest in Peace, all of these are very like good targets. Also, after this league, I just want to mention that I decided that I'm definitely adding Teferi instead of third Meddling Mage and probably fourth Force of Vigor. Still thinking on that one, but yeah, I think this is it. So, like, cut these two for two Teferis because everything is full of Rhinos currently, and I think I really need it. That is it. That is the deck. We are now going to go through the league and watch some games. Okay, so this was the first match. So we are starting with that one. Okay, playing first, mulliganing to 6 cards. 6 decent cards. I have a new card here. Here is Invasion of Ixalan. I only have 2 lands and 4 mana creature, 5 mana creature here. So very useful in this situation. But I find Kavu here. So I decide to just cast a Kavu on 2. If I didn't get Kavu, I would be very satisfied to cast this invasion and find the land here. So once I draw, I did the loot with the Kavu. I found my Invasion of Tarkir, and now I was able to kill the Geist and then pitch cast the Fury and get rid of both of their Undying guys. So they were now on 2 forests and 3 cards in hand, which was like pretty slow. So I decided to go for another attack with Kavu. My curve said that it's better for me to cast the Shardless here, so I went for it. I cascaded into Bolt, targeted the invasion, and they just played the Wall of Fruit, so I was certain of flipping the invasion this turn. And this invasion of Tarkir, when flipped into the dragon, says that whenever this dragon attacks, it deals 2 damage to any target. So you can ping a creature with it, go to face, whatever you want. I went for another Shardless from hand, and made things very easy for me here. I went for Invasion of Ixalan, finding me Bloodbraid Elf. Went everything in face except for dragon targeting the invasion. I flipped my dinosaur there, and still had a fury in hand as a solution for if they find anything useful. They did have Eldritch Evolution here with 0 cards in hand, able to pick up Yagmoth. And but they were like really low on life, so they weren't able to do uh, everything they needed to survive here. So I drew into Invasion of Tarkir and kind of too fast played it. My plan was like to go first for the Fury. So when I cast Invasion of Tarkir, I realized they could maybe have like Blood Artist. So then I had to like target the Hapatra so they don't gain. I guess they will play it, but I just wanted to get rid of it before casting the Fury, so they can't go infinite life with Blood Artist. And they would probably do it on their turn if they had it, but anyway, yeah. So okay, that was it, and we can now go to the game 2. So just wanted to say that was the reason why I didn't go for 2 damage to face at this situation. I was afraid of them gaining some life. Okay, so ready for game 2. I have some multiple removals here plus Bloodbraid Elf. That's pretty good against playing against Yagmoth. So I decided to get rid of the Wall of Fruits here because they can sometimes definitely struggle with mana. So on turn 3, they didn't play a land, so I definitely wanted to kill this Hierarch and also play Binding on their Young Wolf because this deck is really about these undying creatures. If they don't have it when they play Yagmoth, Yagmoth will usually not do much. So I got my 4th land here. I got my 4th hand and cascaded again with Bloodbraid Elf into Tribal Flames in a situation where my opponent was on 20 life, and I think it's just so much better to enable your invasion your battle at that moment. Okay, so my opponent went for Yagmoth, and I picked up another invasion from the turn, uh, uh, pinged Yagmoth for 2 damage, and attacked with my dragon, which pinged again Yagmoth for other 2 damage, so to finish him. And I played another Kavu, and that was basically it. Okay, so my opponent couldn't survive that anymore. So that was the game, that was the match 1. We will now go to the match 2. Okay, I kept a 3-lander here, but no blue mana. I had 2 Shardless, so really hoping for it. I play 22 lands here, plus 4 Invasions of Ixalan. So should have like decent chances of finding it. My opponent was on Shadow Tide, Dimir, whatever you call it, like Dimir deck playing a lot of counter spells, a lot of removal, and Murktides and Death Shadows. So they countered the Ixalan, and my Shardless resolved. Shardless is always very good when playing against counter spells deck. So I went for the Leyline Binding there. Opponent counters it, so I go for another one. Attack my opponent, put them on 7 life, and I decided just to like go bolt end of their turn and try to finish the game that way. So they just went to Totsis, I bolted them, and that was the game. That was the game, so we can now watch game 2. In game 2, I had a great hand, 2 Kavus, removal in Invasion to Ixalan, and Bloodbraid Elf, and I draw into the Lightning Bolt. Okay, so I boarded my Furies out in this matchup. I don't think they're very good here, not doing much. Also boarded out 1 Bolt, and that's it. Like these 4 cards. So my Fury, I think just don't think Furies do much against Death Shadow and Murktide, so they're not really that necessary. I found a Shardless Agent here. Found Invasion of Tarkir. 2 damage to face. Play Shardless, be like hoping to flip this invasion next turn. These Bloodbraid Elves, Cascaders, Shardless are also just sometimes very good at flipping the invasions. I didn't play this. I should have played this other way. Didn't play this ideally. Should have just bolted the what is it called? Cutthroat. Yeah, should have just bolted it. And or just play my Bloodbraid Elf. Bloodbraid Elf. I don't think like playing the invasion for 2 damage to face was ideal at that situation. So I just went for the Bloodbraid Elf, find the Territorial Kavu with it. I have 3 creatures on the field, while opponents just on 1 big shadow and the Cutthroat. And dismembering my Kavu to get on 5 life, which was ideal because I had the Tribal Flames in hand. You definitely don't want to be on 5 against the Zoo deck. And also top deck another Flames, which was great because my opponent top decked the Stubborn Denial. So I just finished off my opponent with second Flames, and that was it. Okay, so that was game 2, and we will skip the defeat this time because it's really late for me. So I'll just focus. Defeat was just very bad, uninteresting game. I was playing against Rhinos who had like perfect hand, just wasn't able to do anything, and there were like really pretty quick defeats. I conceded on turn 3 both games. One game I conceded to Blood Moon. Second game, let me think. Yeah, I conceded to Fire Eyes. Turn 3 Rhinos into turn 4 Rhinos without having much solutions. And also had a Fury for my Scion, I think. So yeah, that was basically it. So 2 turn 3 concedes. So I think we can safely skip those. Here I had like this is what happened to me, similar to what happened to me against Rhinos. I had a Fury to kill a very small Goyf and Ragavan here. Play my Scion and just already put them on 12 life with two very good creatures on the field, and that was very quick game. So let's go to the game 2 of this match. Mulliganing one lander, definitely. Keeping three lands, sorry, and putting one bolt down. So this mana base is not as ideal as one of in a Shoba list, because in Xander in Indatha's mana base, playing Heat means you can't always get Xander with it. So sometimes you will have like a situation like this where you have like Sacred Foundry, a forest, and you can get Xander with your fetch. But I think it's okay. It's not often that relevant, and you mostly still get the 4 land types. So opponent was able to connect with Ragavan a few times here, get rid of my creatures using the Galvanic Blast. Galvanic Blast was pretty good for them this game. So I just kind of didn't have to have anything great to do with Tribal Flames here, so just played Flames on white. My opponent again went for the dash, so I blocked the Epicure and bolted the Ragavan, and now opponent had a very large Goyf while I was top decking lands, so that was this, and I was already low on life, so this was not a great situation for me. Pretty bad one. I top decked a land last turn, and then I top decked Bolt, which was not very useful now. And next turn I top decked another land, so that was the loss, and we can now watch game 3. Okay, on the play, much easier obviously when you can start with a turn 2 Scion. Actually, they can get rid of Scion with Galvanic Blast, but like they need Metalcraft, and it's not so easy always to get to Metalcraft. Yeah, so the problem with the Heat is you can't get a full domain with 2 Heats in this deck, so but still this mana base works pretty good in most situations. Okay, opponent went for Vren here, bolt my ping and plus bolt my Scion. So I just wanted to get rid of this. My opponent was on a... I found Invasion on top, which I could have used to finish the Vren, but I couldn't know that I'll get it. My opponent went for another Vren. So but this time I decided to go face, and this dragon deals amazing 6 damage when attacking, and this was a 2 turn clock, so the dragon won the game like did all the work himself. I just played him and the tribal flames him and it flipped and done everything. Okay, so this invasion of Tarkir just has been so very good for me in so many games. I like it very much. Okay, so that was the last game of this match. So we will now watch fourth win of this league and then end this video. Okay, so again mulliganed. We didn't see much of the Invasion of Ixalan in action, but potentially they just didn't draw it that much as I drew the other invasion, but often had potential of digging for land in situations where I needed the land, or digging for Leyline Binding, Territorial Kavu. I think it's decent, but can't be 100% sure yet. So I decided, I'm definitely sure for Invasion of Tarkir. I like it pretty much. In most situations, like in this aggro matchups, you just basically I have two Scions here, and when I go for this to flip this invasion, they don't play removal, so this means that when I attack next turn after, I'll get 6 damage just from my attack triggers, which is pretty crazy. And I feel like this has some really good synergy with Scion, and it happens a lot that you have both. And it's really helpful, and these type of decks that don't play removal just can't deal with this very, very large dragon that is pinging their creatures, and it just brings in an inevitability of losing and not being able to stabilize. So really like it, and as I said, it has performed well so far. Okay, so that is it. Let's now watch the game 2. Didn't have good lands there, so I mulligan that one, keeping a very good 6 cards with a Bolt, a Leyline Binding, and the best card in the world against Hammer Time, Hidetsugu Consumes All. So of course I went for Indatha Triome. My opponent went off to the slow start, so I was able to just cast Kavu turn 2. I really, when you're playing against Hammer, your goal is, when you have the Hidetsugu, your goal is to cast the Hidetsugu after they hit the turn 3 third chapter on their Urza Saga. So I just attacked with my Kavu and holded the Binding plus Bolt. So they played a Surge of Salvation. I let them tap out and resolve this because that means I'm safe for to cast Hidetsugu on my turn, and I just cast Hidetsugu on my turn, and the opponent concedes. So this is just a classic Hidetsugu win against Hammer. Already done that so many times, and they just can be discarded. Okay, so that is it. That is the entire league. I described what happened in the loss against Rhinos. It just wasn't very interesting, even worthy of showing, and it's really late for me. So I will now end this video. I think I think this is very cool, and I'm convinced that Invasion of Tarkir will be very good in this Cascade shells. Not so sure about Invasion of Ixalan, just because um, of course, sometimes you have to react on turn 2, 3, and you just don't have time to play this, just dig for solutions. But it has some real good potential because it can find almost all relevant cards in a deck like Fury, Binding, Land, Kau, Scion, and or Cascade creatures. So very, very good potential, but I just didn't draw into it that much. So I still, after playing one league with it, I don't have enough experience to say if it's good or bad. but definitely want to add more Teferi as Cascade Hate currently because there's just so many of these Rhinos deck, but also Living End. So that's it. Okay, if you like the video, if you like the gameplay, if you want to help the channel, click like, click subscribe, comment in the video. Tell me what do you think about Ixalan and Tarkir. I really like the Tarkir. And that's it for today. Until the next time. Goodbye.